So welcome to the Magic Kingdom. On a rainy day, I'm going to try and show you some of my favorite Photopass locations here at Walt Disney World, at least at Magic Kingdom. So out here in front of the train station is actually one of my favorite places to shoot. Of course, it's raining right now, so there's no photographer, but you would get a picture up, looking right up at the train station with you in front of it. Now, the first trick to this place, you don't stand where those people are. That's going to be a lousy looking picture. You actually want to stand kind of in the middle where these people with the wheelchair are, and then have the photographer standing on this other line. We would actually put people on the one line in the cement, and then we would stand on the other line, and that would space us just about perfect for it. And that would give you a great picture of people in front of the train station. So it's interesting, there's a Photopass photographer hiding right here in the train station. Basically it's a rain location so he can shoot while he's covered. But this is not a place I would recommend getting a picture because you are so far from the castle and because there is a flagpole in the way. So don't do that. This is dumb. Do not do this. Dumb guess. As you come up a little further on Main Street, typically there is a Photopass photographer right here at the corner. We can see these people lined up. And again, that's not the best place to get the picture of the castle because you've got to be spaced out, spread out, and the castle ends up looking rather small. Like in the picture here I'm going to show you. So go further up the street. This is also usually the place that has the longest line because it's the first Photopass photographer they see. So keep going. You'll notice though, as you get further up Main Street, of course the castle gets bigger as you get closer. And that actually will make a big difference in your picture. So if you're wanting a good picture with a nice large castle in the background, move close. Okay, my personal favorite place if you're going to be on Main Street to get the castle is actually not on Main Street. You can see if you look careful that the ground very slightly rises up here, and right about the peak is actually where I really like to shoot because you get the best view of just the castle there. And so you can stand right about here. Again, position your people about 5 to 7 feet away from you. Zoom in, crop it around the waist, and zoom in and get that castle nice and big, and it's going to be a gorgeous looking picture. So up here at the partner statue is actually one of the most popular places to get a picture. They'll usually have tripods set up here, but they don't today because it's raining. But it's also one of the hardest places to get the perfect picture. And I'll give you a hint, it is not lining up straight with the castle and the statue right in front of the castle. It's actually not a great looking picture there. What you want to do is you want to step off center a little bit and put that statue over on the side, hopefully without an umbrella in the way, and hopefully without people standing on the steps. And that way you can turn it into a triangular picture. And you can do it from either side. And if you put the statue there, and then you put the guests down in front of it, kind of in the middle of the two, and it ends up being a really pretty picture, especially at night. Now this was one of the reasons we didn't like shooting partners. You can see just how crowded it is. Now they're actually shooting a little further away from the statues. So when I would shoot it, we would be a little bit closer to the guests, and then the guests would actually be closer into the statue, and then we'd line it up a real nice shot. So I don't know how theirs look, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to wait in that line to find out. Now, if the partner statue is ridiculously crowded, which it is a lot of the day, but you want a real nice side angle of the castle, just right outside you can see the rails, you can see the partner statue there. And actually right here is a great place. There's usually a photographer here too if the weather's decent, and it can get you a wonderful view of the castle, and you just put people right in front of you. Another place that we used to love to shoot the castle, and it's changed quite a bit, was actually over here by Crystal Palace. And this right here actually used to be a nice little alcove that we could shoot from. There used to be a fountain back there right in that nice center section. but we would actually shoot right over in here between Casey's and Crystal Palace, and it was a really nice view of the castle. Well, when they remodeled everything, they changed it all, and so every now and then you'll see a photographer over here, but it is not the same view as it used to be. There's now some things in the way kind of blocking it off, and you no longer have the really nice tree that used to be right in this big old circle area that we use. But that was an old Photopass location with a really pretty picture. So one of my favorite picture places actually used to be right about where he's standing. This used to be where the rose garden was, and it just made for a very pretty backdrop. I'll swing around and let you kind of see. You can see about how far away he was from them, and that's a good distance, maybe about a half step or two closer. He's about to do a tink shot. But back when this was the rose garden, this was my favorite place to be able to shoot because it was just a gorgeous setting. But now there's no more garden. It's just planters. Now, there were other places that we would shoot the castle, and they probably still shoot from. There's the bridge there into Tomorrowland, and so that would be a photo location. And then we would also do the same over at Liberty Square, and you kind of get the side of the castle. Sometimes from that bridge there going into Fantasyland. They're all right. The views of the castle are good. If you just want a good picture of the castle, they're fine. But they're not my favorite views by any means. So this is kind of interesting. These little statues here, they actually used to be around the hub right by the partner statue. And you can see there's 4 of them here, and then there's 4 of them over at that other planter. And they all used to be right around there. And it was a nice thing when, if we weren't locked on tripods, it gave us an opportunity to kind of float around and get some pictures of people that way. But they moved them all out here when they redid the hub. So if we were to shoot the castle from here on the Fantasyland bridge, we would actually put people right on the rail, and then we would stand right about at the center of that intersection of cracks. And that gave you a perfect distance and allowed you to get a nice shot of the side of the castle. Not its best side, but a good picture. One thing about these days that I forgot about, because it's been so long, that used to drive me nuts as a photographer, is if you go inside where it was cool on especially a humid, warm day, and you take your camera in with you, camera cools off, and then when you walk outside, the lens is all fogged up. It's like, oh man, you gotta clean it up again. So be aware, keep some lens cloths with you if you've got a decent camera. If nothing else, just to help unfog your camera, because it's going to take a minute for the temperatures to equalize. Up here was actually one of my favorite places to shoot. We would rarely put a photographer here unless by special request, and that's because it's the wishing well. This is actually probably one of my favorite places because this is where you would see proposals happen, right there. So everything about a place to propose, there you go. Have her make a wish, show her the ring. So as a Photopass photographer, this is a place I loved and hated. I hated being posted here as a photographer because it would be slow, you wouldn't take very many pictures, and then typically the bridge is just jammed with everybody else trying to take their pictures as well. So you're competing for space and getting jostled around, and which is sad because it's actually one of the most picturesque spots in the park. And if you could find a way to get a photographer positioned here where they could get a picture safely without getting jammed, well, then you've got a fantastic backdrop with that right there. So I would come in on my days off and I would shoot here. But the couple times I shot here as a Photopass photographer, oh, I hated it. Hated it with a passion. This was actually another one of my favorite places to be able to shoot. It was just right in front of the Pirates of the Caribbean sign. The biggest issue we had was the fact that it was in a walkway, which could make it intriguing. But we would actually kind of use that stripe as our marker and get people set up to be able to catch that as the background. I like this one. It was just kind of a unique spot. It wasn't the castle, but another place in the park. And there were a couple others too. gonna go move on to one of those. There are a couple other spots here in Adventureland that I like to use as backdrops. And one of them, sometimes you get a real Jasmine fan, so we would try to use that. When I could get lined up there, I love to be able to actually shoot people on the ride. That was fun. But as far as backdrops go, this is actually a really nice one. And we would get people with the whole tiki room behind them. I like that one. It just made for a nice adventurous feel. And then these little tikis here were a ton of fun. You get people to pose who hadn't caught that it shot water at them, and then you get them right as it's shooting water. Or you get the kids playing with the tikis. It made for a real fun spot, and so much so that you can actually even see the Nikon labeled as a picture spot. Of course, I think it was a Kodak picture spot before Nikon came around. Another place that some people really like to have as a backdrop is the Jungle Cruise. Now, the biggest problem here is the fact you got the lines, but it could make for a nice background. All of these pictures here in Adventureland would be ones that if I happened to have the chance to rove around a little bit, I would take them. But generally, they don't have photographers stationed at them, so you gotta look for a rover or Photopass photographer that's just kind of floating around. Now, I didn't really shoot very much in Fantasyland. We would shoot the backside of the castle, but generally Fantasyland is a very high traffic area, and there's not a lot of great backdrops with it. So we wouldn't usually shoot in Fantasyland. Every now and then, if we were roving, we would get a chance that we could shoot people on the teacups or Dumbo. And since Dumbo's moved, that's not really workable now. But those are kind of the two places in Fantasyland that we might shoot, but they were still kind of rare shots. Other than that, Fantasyland was kind of out just because it's too crowded, too packed, not going to work. But there were a couple places in Tomorrowland that we would shoot as well. So I'll take a look and let you see what those were and give you an idea of what they looked like. So one other spot that used to be really cool to shoot, and you can't really do right now, is actually out here on this bridge. The Tomorrowland sign itself is missing, but at night this would be an absolutely fantastic sight because the two sides would be glowing blue, the sign would be crossing this bridge and all lit up, the ride up ahead of us, the rocket ships, would be moving and swirling with lights all over it, and it just made a really, really cool looking photo. But alas, they're changing the sign. Supposedly there's a new one on the way. Hopefully it will look as cool, or at least it'll be the old one refurbished. We'll have to wait and see. Right here would be another location that I like to shoot, although we rarely have photographers here. Because Space Mountain, the People Mover, again, especially at night, just makes a really cool backdrop. When it's all lit up, it's just really pretty. So this is a great night shot location. Daytime, it's okay, but love to be able to shoot here. This generally ended up being a rover spot, though. We didn't put a photographer here very often. But if I come in with family and friends, this is the spot I try to get a picture of them. So there's some of my favorite Photopass locations, places I like to shoot, places I didn't like to shoot quite so much. That doesn't include all the characters. The characters are a whole different deal, and the characters are great. Just avoid those stupid boxes that they're putting in with Tink and Mickey. But if you get to see the characters, they'll have their own photographers. But as far as getting good pictures of the castle and some of the other landmarks, that should give you some good ideas of ones that I like to shoot and ones I didn't so much. If you've got other places in the park you like to shoot, I would love to hear those. Please share them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and that thumbs up. Share the video as well. And if you want to know anything about me, fan pages, merchandise, check that description below. Thank you so very much for watching. God bless. So you'll notice as you get further up Main Street that the castle, of course, gets bigger as you get closer. Oh my gosh. Somebody's fascinating with his horn. There are a couple other spots here in Adventureland that I used to like to use as backgrounds. Oh my gosh, yeah. If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much and God bless.